So we have here, we've got Nick. Good evening, Nick.
Good evening.
And we've got Kevin. Kev, is it Kev or Kevin? Kevin, right. Hello, Kevin.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, tell us a little bit about your band. Tell us what it is, what it's called. When did you meet? How did you meet? Just tell us the story.
I'll start, shall I? And then just a little bit. I've been playing music and writing songs for, I don't know, about 50 years probably. And during lockdown, I started writing a lot of songs that were really for an electric band rather than a more acoustic-based thing. And I had these songs, and I was quite inspired to want to put a band together. And I recorded some demos of those songs and started looking around for people who might be mad enough to join me on this venture, which I dreamed up the name the Longship, because I'm interested in history and interested in the Vikings, and being as I live in Northumberland, I'm not that far away from Lindisfarne, and sort of saw all those historical connections with the Vikings. I thought that'd be a kind of cool name for a band, and I knew someone who was a bass player. So that was a guy called Tim Skelton, who's our current bass player in the band, and asked him if he'd be interested in doing something. So yeah, he was keen. So that was two of us on board the Longship, and then I put an advert out looking for a drummer, and Kevin replied. Do you want to say anything about that?
As usual, it was being based in the borders. I'd have to travel to Glasgow or Edinburgh normally, playing bands which I had been doing. So to find something local was, I thought I'll give this a go and see if it's any good.
And is it?
Yes.
So what year was that then?
2021.
Yes, yeah, it's I think we got together in November 2021, and we had a rehearsal in Horncliffe Village Hall, didn't we?
Very rock and roll in the Village Hall.
Yeah, that's right. And then kind of like people had other commitments over Christmas and New Year and stuff, so we kind of, I suppose, cemented the idea that we were going to get together as a band and do something. But it was probably 2022 where we really started rehearsing in anger, looking for the odd gig, and wanted to do some recording as well.
Mm-hmm. So then when you first started, what were you doing? Were you writing together from the very beginning, or were you doing covers, or what kind of like music were you playing?
Nick had loose arrangements of the songs, but he's quite a folk musician as well as a rock musician.
Right.
So a lot of the songs were kind of folk based, so it was up to me and Tim to make the songs more electric, rock them up a bit, and that's what we did. The very first time the three of us played, it was really good. You know, all amateur musicians will know this. You'll go to a gig and you'll think, I didn't really enjoy that, I hope they don't ask me back, or I'm not going back. But we had it off straight away, and it was good. Yeah.
And what's your musical influences then that bring between the three of you? Where does it, what's the mixture? What does it feel like?
I'd say for myself, and I think probably for Tim, it's like classic 70s rock, because that's the year we're both the same age, so that's kind of, I suppose, the era we grew up listening to lots of 70s bands like Hawkwind, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Uriah Heep, all those kinds of bands. So that's kind of a driver from, I suppose, as we got more confident with what we were doing, those influences came in a little bit stronger, I guess. And Kev's you're a bit more up to date than us.
I'm 10 years younger than them, so I was brought up more in Metallica, Slayer, Guns N' Roses, but I was also very heavily influenced by Ian Pace, Deep Purple.
Oh yes, Ian Pace, the best drummer ever.
Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, all the classic bands, so it was a good fit, It was we all had similar musical interests.
Yeah, well, that sounds good. Yeah, actually, did you go to see Metallica?
No, I didn't.
Did you not? Yeah,
no. I heard they were very good at Hampden.
Well, yeah, I didn't go. I went to London. I went to the London gig to see them. They were absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So anyway, tell everybody a little bit about your songs then. So when did you start writing, I take it was straight away. Who writes? How does it work? How do you form your music?
It's kind of like, it's a benevolent dictatorship, really. I think it's probably one way of describing it. It's I really, up to now, I write the songs in a sense that and a lot of them are either, I suppose, social comment, or I've got historical content, or some kind of storytelling, if you like, which is the way I write my songs. That's what I do. And kind of really what I try to do is I'll probably try to get the song, or the basic of the song done, written, and I'll record a demo of it at home, and then let the guys hear it, and then we'll get together at a rehearsal, and they'll knock it into shape and give it a bit more oomph. And Kevin's really good at he's not just a drummer, he's a proper musician, and he comes up with some great drum fills and accents and ideas for the
arrangements. I'm quite into arrangements, so I'll think about how the song will be structured, and then we'll get through the melody, and then we'll work out the number of beats per section, tempos, BPM, stuff like that.
So how long have you been playing the drums then?
Since 1982.
Right, and what about you?
I've never played the drums.
No, I know.
Well, not that I'd admit to, anyway. I guess I've probably been playing guitar and performing in public for probably scarily about 54 years in some, off and on, for some shape or form, a long time. But varying from doing acoustic stuff, and I kind of went through, I played in a prog rock band for a while, and then the new wave thing came along, and I played in a new wave band, and a kind of early 80s sort of band. And then I had to moved around, and I lived in Scotland for about 27 years. We lived and worked in the north of Scotland, and there weren't as many opportunities to play that kind of music, so I tended to channel my stuff more into acoustic things. But I was still a frustrated rock musician, and so getting the Longship together has been fulfilling my my dreams, really, of being able to get together and play that kind of music again.
Okay, so we are going to play. You've chosen the first track is Put Down the Knife. Do you want to tell us where's that from? When did you write it, record it, etc.?
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about that. Basically, it was, I guess as a songwriter, you're always looking for things that you make a connection with, or that inspire you. And I was in Redcar in 2022 at Kirklethem, and they had a statue there called the Knife Angel. I don't know if it's maybe been around this area as well, I don't know. But it's a huge statue, and it's made from 100,000 knife blades that have been either handed in an amnesty or confiscated. And they made this statue, which is basically a huge angel, to tour the country and raise awareness about knife violence. And I went to see it, and also when I went to see it, there was a stand there from the Chris Cave Foundation. And Chris Cave is a local lad who lost his life due to knife violence, and his mother has campaigned to try to raise awareness about it. And the whole thing was incredibly moving, so I kind of went away, and every week in the news after that there was some tragedy of a young person having been killed in knife violence. So I wrote this song really just to express, I suppose, tell a story, but express my feelings about wanting people just to think about, not taking knives out with them. Because I think for some youngsters, some places are so scary and violent now that they'll maybe take a knife out as thinking it's self-defense. But if you pull a knife out, whether it's in self-defense or not, the potentials are fairly horrific.
Absolutely.
And I was just trying to express that in this song.
Okay, so there's going to be a couple of adverts, and then we will be listening to the Longship, Put Down the Knife.
KOAST Radio. Rocking your radio. KOAST Radio. The voice of Southeast Northumberland, where you live, work, and play. KOAST Radio. KOAST Radio.
streets and meet friends tonight. There's been some trouble on your estate, a reckless gang filled with hate, with nothing left to do but steal and fight. You know there's danger, but you take a chance. You need your friends, you need romance. You wanna be free to live your life. You arm yourself with a kitchen knife. Now you feel less afraid, you feel alright. But just in case of trouble, you don't wanna fight. Put down the knife. Don't take it on the streets tonight. Don't risk a life. Put down the knife. Put down the knife. Give it up or hand it in. Don't risk a life. Put down the knife. What can you do? It's no longer safe in the places you knew. No police on the street and no one to help you. Trouble comes and you get in a fight. If someone's armed, you'll get out your knife. If someone's gonna die on the streets tonight. Put down the knife. Don't take it on the streets tonight. Don't risk a life. Put down the knife. Put down the knife. Give it up or hand it in. Don't risk a life. Put down the knife. There's an angel made from 100,000 blades, with arms outstretched and wings of steel. Read the words inscribed from the loved ones left behind. Don't risk your life, put down the knife.
So you're listening to The Incredible Sunday Show with me, Glenda, and John White, who's sitting patiently checking all our requests, aren't you?
Yeah.
And we are here with Nick and Kevin from the Longship, and we've just been chatting about how the band formed, when the band formed, which was back in sort of 21, 22, and you've just heard one of their early tracks, which was Put Down the Knife, which was essentially about knife crime, wasn't it? Inspired by knife crime and the rise in knife crime. So we're going to carry on talking and finding out a little bit more about where do you play. So we'll be moving into, so when you do gigs, do you always play all your own gigs, or do you ever put in any covers? Do you mix and match, or what's your normal standard? If somebody was going to come and see you, what would they expect?
normally we would play all our own songs. I think we do one cover version, which is a Hot Wind song that these old timers know.
Which one is it?
Nick will tell you.
Go on, Nick, which one is it? Can you remember?
What is it called, man? Like,
Moonglum.
I think I can Moonglum. That's it. Yeah.
Right.
Moonglum, yeah.
I've never ever listened to Moonglum. They play it and I just play along. So the drums are whatever that comes into my head. I've never listened to the Hot Wind original. And we normally do 2 45-minute sets. Maybe, I think there's about an average about 10 or 12 songs in each half, so it's a fair bit to remember.
Yeah. Well, we've just been talking while the music was on about different venues, because back in the day there was music, live music, there was so many venues, and slowly but surely that, you know, there's been, I mean, the amount of like pubs and stuff that have closed and just went is unbelievable. There's pubs closing all the time, like every day, and we're just kind of like scratching our heads saying, right, well, where are the venues around here? Well, we would definitely have Bubbles. Everybody knows, anybody who's from the southeast corner of Northumberland knows Bubbles exists, and Bubbles has live bands on. They do their live bands often on a Thursday evening, and they sometimes have them on a Saturday. They started putting them back on a Saturday, and they have a mixture of live and cover. And we'll have Platform 1, and Platform 1 again, they do exactly the same. They have a mixture of cover bands, and they have bands that do their own stuff. For example, we talked about the John Angus band, who you know the John Angus band.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're great. Yeah.
And again, they play their own music as well. And then you've got a little bit further afield. You've got the Clooney, which definitely is a place for your own music. And do you know, and if anybody's listening, other venues? And I know you're going to come back and tell us. Billy Bootleggers is another one. There's quite a few in the town where you can definitely get gigs playing your own stuff. Do you know any places in Northumberland that also you can play your own music and it's for original bands? Please let me know. And if you want to request, it's 07858 429 316. So let us help this band. Where are the places in Northumberland where these guys could rock up and play their own stuff? Contact us 07858 429 316, or call when the music's on after the interview on 01670 432 107. So we're going to move on to recordings. So obviously this is an MP3 which you sent to me, so you're obviously in the recording studios. Tell us, what have you been recording? Have you done an EP? Have you done an album? Are you doing just single tracks? Tell me about that.
Okay, well, we've recorded, we've released, should I say, I think nine tracks as single releases, because I think, like with the streaming platforms, that seems to be the best way to go. But it's really hard, again, if you're a small band, everyone who's in a band will know this, I guess, a small band to promote your stuff and get any kind of traction on the streaming platforms. But I'm kind of quite, I suppose another creative streak in me is wanting to do videos. So I think the other kind of strategy that we have is to go into the studio, record some songs, and then release those and release some kind of video as well with that song. So out of the singles that we've released, we've either done a proper music video for them, which we've done with a friend of ours, Wayne Bell, up in the Berwick area, who's a great guy, and he's worked really hard for us. Or we've done some kind of lyric video, which I've usually put together out of random footage and other things that we've done. And I will mention one. It's not a track we're going to play tonight, but there's one of the tracks which is a kind of favourite of the band, particularly live, is called Green Man, and I suppose it's me expressing the pagan within and my concern for the environment as well. But it's a kind of heavier track, and it's got an absolutely cracking video which Wayne made for us. So check that out on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, The Longship. There's a whole load of official music videos, lyric videos, and there's a lot of live footage as well. So if you want to see some idea of what the band are like live, there's things recorded we're playing at gigs in Newcastle or Perth up in Scotland or down in Teesside. There's all sorts of stuff there to go and check out. But that's kind of our strategy is probably now is to go into the studio, record a couple of tracks, and then get a video done for one of them, release it, and then release the other one and so on. And then meanwhile try and promote those as much as we can. And on YouTube, we've got Kevin was mentioned on the way here that the Green Man video that's got something like 245 or 244,000 views, which is not bad for a little band from Northumberland. And looking at the stats on YouTube, we've got quite a big following in the Ukraine and Georgia. Bizarrely, but not a huge number of views in the UK.
So get some gigs there.
Yeah, we're hoping
you never know.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, it's like Europe's big on the rock, you know. I mean, a lot of bands go over to Europe because they've got much more. There's so many more rock concerts and stuff over there than what there are in England.
Right, you're right.
It's like crazy, isn't it? Yeah. And I was reading something anyway, and they were saying what's coming back is rock music. Is coming back big time. So I know country's been like awash. The whole world's been awash with country, but the thing that's fearing coming back in is rock music again, and like quite raw rock music the way it used to be.
Sure. So we're ahead of the curve instead of behind it. Yeah, that's good to know.
There you go. You see. So again, I mean, we are going to play another track, but I want another question, and that is, since you started and where you are now, what's changed musically? Have you actually sort of like changed in any direction, or have you found, is it heavier, is it lighter, is it exactly the same? Have you like sort of tested anything? What have you been doing with your musical preferences?
I would say it's got heavier. You know, a lot of the songs are more driving beats in them, faster speeds.
Right.
Bit more aggression in the vocals as well from Nick, so that's the direction that we're moving in, like harder.
And is there a reason? Is it just a natural? Has it been a natural growth into a more rockier sound?
I think it's a mixture. It's quite interesting when you listen to it. It's a mixture of influences. Because I should mention Tim again, our fantastic bass player Tim Skelton. I mean, he also plays in a jazz group as well. And he's got, as well as being into kind of more prog rock, classic rock and jazz, so he brings a whole mixture of influences to it. And I'm kind of a little bit the same, I suppose, I guess more probably prog rock and classic rock ideas and influences, plus my songwriting. And Kev's kind of drives it along a little bit heavier, probably more I say John Bonham-esque in some of his drumming. So I mean, I think you listen to some of the tracks. I wouldn't say we've necessarily gone in any one direction necessarily. I think different songs reflect different aspects of all of that mix. But the one thing I think, if you listen to some of the earlier tracks we recorded and listen to some of the more recent ones, I think the playing is more confident, I guess, and more knitted in together. And the production values of the recording, I think, are much better. And I've got to give a shout out to Ralph Stokes. If you check him out, it's Blue Leaf Recording. He's a wonderful guy to work with, and he's recorded, I think, 3 or 4 of our last releases. That's really made it's made a difference to us, I think, in terms of
I would definitely recommend him for any bands in Northumbria and Newcastle who are looking to put down a few tracks. So
tell us again what's it called, and where are you recording? Just for other, because if there's anybody sitting listening,
it's a guy called Ralph Stokes. You find him under I think it's Blue Leaf Recording or Blue Leaf Studios. But to track the drums and bass, because you've got an inevitable bigger volume, we've done that in the Loft Studios in Newcastle that some people listening will be familiar with. That's right in the Newcastle Centre, which has got a fantastic live room. And then the guitar tracking and vocals are usually done at Ralph's home studio, which is fun because I get to have a whole day of messing about with guitars and different guitar sounds and stuff. But yeah, a great guy to work with. So,
very good.
Okay, so up next is Wild. Do you want to Wild Edric?
Edric.
Yes. Sorry, my eyes aren't great because I had to squint there to try and read it. Tell me about that one.
It's a ghost story. It's a song that I wrote actually I wrote it quite a while ago. Initially as an acoustic track, and it's a ghost story from Shropshire, which is where I'm from originally. And Wild Edric is this character that the old lead miners in Shropshire believed they could hear knocking noises when they were mining in the tunnels, and this legend came about that Wild Edric and his wife Lady Godder and their army were entombed in the hills, but when the country was in trouble and in danger, these ghostly figures would come riding out across the hills to save us all and so on. So it's a well-known Shropshire legend, and I was kind of playing guitar at home one evening and thinking about more material for the Longship, and I came up with this kind of loose idea, and that's actually quite a good example of Tim and Kevin's influence of picking up on my kind of vague idea about how the song should go and making it into a real driving song.
Right. Okay. Oh wow. Right. So there's a couple of adverts as they're piling up here, and then we're going to have Wild Edric from the Longship.
KOAST Radio.
KOAST Radio on 106.6 FM and DAB. Brought to you by Dulux, bringing colour and your community together.
Fades into the night. Darkness reaches out across the sky. I hurry on across these hills. Must find somewhere for a bed tonight. Suddenly from the mist, strange shapes I see. No farmer or a shepherd of these. Wild horsemen pass me by, riding like the wind to the east. Ride on, Edric, now you're free. Ride on, Edric, to the east. Ride on, Edric, now you're free. The country must be in time of need. I should have looked away. I see the face of Edric, wild and free, and Lady Godder at his side, followed by their army dressed in green. They were imprisoned underground for their rebellion against the Norman king. Edric's riding free on these hills again. Ride on, Edric, now you're free. Ride on, Edric, to the east. Ride on, Edric, now you're free. The country must be in time of need.
So you're listening to The Incredible Sunday Show with John White and me, Glenda Devlin, and we have Nick and Kevin here from the Longship, and we have just heard Wild Edric, which was a ghost story, which was brilliant. So just I asked a question just before that, I'm going to ask it again. What have you got a set way that you actually write your music? Because we touched on it earlier on. Do you start with lyrics? Do you start with the tune? How do you write your music?
It depends a little bit, but I guess really I think primarily I get the idea for the song. It's going to be a story, something that's inspired me or influenced me, and then I'll go away and research it and make lots of notes or just jot random things down as much as possible that eventually I'll build into the lyrics for the song. And then music wise, sometimes I get a musical idea first and then write the lyrics. And we were just saying as well in the break there that what a great thing, having a mobile phone is, because you can be messing around on your guitar and get an idea of what sounds interesting and just record 30 seconds or a minute of it, and I kind of put that in the, that goes in the bank then, and maybe I can refer back to that. On a few occasions I've found stuff on my phone that I'd forgotten about, and I go, oh, that sounds quite interesting, well, yeah, we can maybe use that. And then it's a mixture really, and sometimes I'll be I could be playing guitar and I've got an idea of a song in my head, and quite quickly sometimes the lyrics will come. Put Down the Knife was one of I think I wrote that quite quickly, because I was kind of fired up. I had a few notes of ideas down. I've got an idea for the chord progression for the song, and that came together quite quickly, whereas some other things have taken a little bit more work. So,
yeah. And do you send like voice notes to each other and say, I've got this idea, blah blah blah?
I've kind of got a home recording set up, so I'll kind of usually make a quick demo or something, just a rough and ready demo with some horrible, as Kevin will tell you in a minute, some absolutely horrible drum beats in it, just to confuse him, and send Tim and Kevin a demo of the song, so at least they've got an idea of what to expect next time we get together. Yeah. Do you want to say something about that, Kevin?
Quite a lot of the songs that we do, they come together quite quickly, but the one that springs to mind that didn't is a song called Catfish Botty, which is a really good song, but I think that took us about 3 or 4 months to get that right, didn't it?
Yeah, just getting the right kind of groove for it, really.
We tried it at about a million different tempos, and then one day me and Tim just hitting this kind of like bass and drum thing. It's a bit like drum and bass, really, isn't it? It's just got a kind of throbbing rhythm, and it's actually the bass that drives the song, really. Tim's quite good at actually being the timekeeper in the band, and sometimes the drums will just start to waver away with the guitar, because I tend to follow the guitar weirdly, which quite a lot of drummers do that.
Well, what's your thoughts? I'm going to probably go on a really touchy subject here. All this AI that's going on, with people now becoming musicians, really?
It's good old-fashioned cheating, isn't it?
It is good old-fashioned cheating.
You've got to pay your dues as a musician. You've got to learn, and that's part of the enjoyment is learning, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I was in a restaurant, and there was this song on, and I was like, "That song, I wonder who that is." And I said to the lady, I says, "What's this track? Is it the same people?" And she went, "Oh, that's just the AI blues. There's an AI blues channel." And I'm like, "What?" There's an AI blues channel. Have you heard of it?
No. Not yet.
And they were playing it in the background in a restaurant.
Yeah. I think it's quite interesting, the whole thing with AI, because I think it's like any other kind of technology. And for a lot of years I worked with IT and IT projects and things like that, and I'm a great believer in using technology as a tool to help you do something else you need to do, or to as a productivity tool, if you like. But you shouldn't be a slave to it. It shouldn't be the be all and end all of it. And I think this is going to sound a bit kind of hippie-ish, but I'm kind of like a great believer in that. Creativity is like an important part of your soul. And if you're actually at whatever level you're doing it, if you're actually playing an instrument or writing a poem or writing literature or whatever it is, or painting a painting, that's a lovely, wonderful and fulfilling thing to do as a person. And if you just produce stuff like that by AI, it's not the same.
It's got no soul, has it?
No soul to it.
No.
Yeah, so that's really it.
Totally. And it's the same when you go to see music and live music. You can tell when the person's got the soul in, like, putting,
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, funny enough, we're talking about Paul Weller, and somebody who we know who's just been to see Paul Weller, and that was just, the soul was missing a little bit, and that you would find that unusual with Paul Weller, because he's like so passionate, but there was just the guy said there was just something missing. There was just something. Maybe it was just an off night, whatever.
Sure. We were talking on the way down here about live, going to see other acts live and that kind of thing. And it's like these days I've got no real interest in going to see massive bands in massive venues. I'd much rather go to a blues club somewhere, like, and see somebody like a John Angus band up close in a small venue, because to me that's the real roots and guts of what music is all about. Musicians going out, gigging, and an audience going along, and being able to see them close up and chat to the band afterwards, and have that kind of engagement. And I think it's a two-way. It's great for the audience, it's great for the band as well. And I think it's a real pity that we're losing so much of that now, because we're losing so many venues and so many places
money
are supported. I mean,
it's like
in Berwick, we've lost Berwick upon Tweed. We had a fantastic venue called the Radio Rooms, which is a proper rock club. That's closed. There's another pub in the town that used to put on regular live music, and that's kind of fallen by the wayside now. And I guess at the end of the day, it's probably about not enough people going out to support it. Hopefully we can get some of that back. Before it's too late.
Absolutely. Okay, so before you go, because we're going to do one last tune. Please, are you playing anywhere coming up? Tell us how will people find your music? Yeah. Just reiterate everything for anybody who's just tuned in. Okay. And they've just heard the song. How can we find you?
Yeah, I was going to I'll mention something else first, if I can, which is I also organise. As you might have guessed, I'm passionate about live original music. So I promote and organise a beer festival, which has just gone. It was the first weekend in July. We'll have some great music at that. So if there's any original artists who are playing blues, rock, blues, or acoustic music, and you're interested in seeing if you can get a slot, then if you go to the site for that event, which is horncliffeevents.co.uk, and there's a contact form there, and you can fill that in and it'll come to me. And if you can send us some links of your videos, and so we can get an idea of what you're about, we'll have a look at that for next year. Meanwhile,
I'll pass you a couple of people on who's been on here. So there's a couple of lads, Josh Webb and Adam Henderson, have both played live here, and they're doing gigs and stuff, and they are acoustic. Yeah. So in fact, I'm going to play Adam and Josh a little bit later on.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So I'll introduce you to them. Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant.
And if we've got a website for the band, the Longship Band, longshipband.co.uk. We've got a YouTube channel which is at the Longship. If you look up again, if you Google the Longship Band, you should find loads of our stuff on there. I've mentioned that already. Masses of videos. We've got our 9 singles are on all of the major streaming platforms, and they're also on Bandcamp, along with some extra tracks on Bandcamp as well. And I'm not sure, I think you might be able to put down the knife for free still, I think, on there as well. But so Bandcamp, all the usual streaming platforms, and yeah.
Okay, brilliant. And the next up is Hounds of Hell. That's your latest.
Yeah.
Is it classed as a single? Latest single?
Yeah.
Please tell her about that before we play it.
I live in a small village. When I moved there, it's very peaceful and quiet. And then one of my neighbours got 4 rescue dogs, and then left them at home and went out to work all day, and they barked and barked and barked. So what do you do about that? So you go and have a chat with your neighbour about it. You write them a letter about it, saying I can't sit out in my garden anymore. It's
Tell us about. I know
it's affecting my mental health. You won't be surprised at that, having heard me for the last quarter of an hour or whatever it is. And then you get in touch with the environmental health people, and they send them a letter, and and on it goes. But of course, the ultimate sanction as a songwriter is you can write a song about it. So this is a song. It's called The Hounds of Hell. It's really inspired by my neighbour's dogs. And if you have a look at the video for it, you'll see it's reasonably entertaining. You've got a little bit of me in bed with my wee willy winky hat and my cuddly bat under my arm, being woken up at 6 o'clock in the morning by these barking dogs. And then we've got some head banging dogs in the video. And then at the end of the film, I've changed the village sign from Horncliffe to Houndcliffe, so so you go get it. Oh, it's worth the look. Even if you don't like the song, turn the sound down and watch the video.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for your time, and no doubt we'll keep in touch, as I always do with everybody who's been in, and then I'll promote anything that you're doing.
That's great.
And,
thanks very much.
Just thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to play the Longship Hounds of Hell, and then that is going to be followed by a little bit of Josh Webb with his just begun single, and Adam Henderson, which is Bad Idea, and I'll tell you about Adam's gigs that are coming up as well.
nation's crazy. It's no kind of life. No peace anymore. Morning, noon or night. Owners out at work all day. Dogs left on their own. All they've got to do is howl, bark and moan. Poor dogs bark and growl. The noise goes on and on. Came here for a quiet life. Chance of that's now gone. Poor dogs bark and growl. I'm not feeling well. No peace anymore from the hounds of hell.
Radio on 106.6 FM and DAB. Brought to you by Dulux, bringing colour and your community together.